Wow. If you're ever in the Philippines, you gotta try out the fruits. Hello guys, my name is Finn Snow, a travel blogger based here in the Philippines for the past 2 years. If you're new to the channel, my passion is all about traveling to the most remote areas of the country, which can take up to a few days to reach. First of all, this is a very unusual video for me. I've never done this type of video before, but I get so many requests about making one. So in this video, I'll be answering the number one question I get all the time. What is the camera I'm using? Or what drone do I use, and why in my opinion this is the best traveling gear, and you should perhaps consider getting the same one if this is something you're into. But if you're here only for the stories or experience on my travels and the beautiful drone shot, then you might consider go ahead and skip this video. And stay tuned for the next series, which is gonna be from the Palawan, where I visited over 20 islands during a 2-week period. Now let's get started with this video. I'll be explaining why I think this is the best gear for travel vlogging. My very first video that I ever did was almost 7 years ago when I went around Southeast Asia for the first time. I had a $40 Chinese manufacturer action camera, and I used to make these travel videos back then, but I never uploaded any of them. So I went from a $40 camera to a multi-$1,000 equipment, and I'll be explaining why this is the right choice for you. All the Amazon links are right below in the description. That's where I bought my gear for the past few years, and all the essential for the camera equipment in one link right here. It's a great way to support the channel. Amazon will give me a little bit back, and you pay the exact same price as you would do normally. Almost 2 months ago, I finally got to purchase my dream equipment thanks to the Sony Philippines network. Not only have I been researching cameras for the past 2 years, but I've actually had my hands on all the top quality ones on the market, both by online search and reviews, but more importantly, I got my hands on with content creators like Josh and Cody. So I've tried all of them, and once again, I think this is the best setup. What you see in this video is the exact gear I'll be using for 2019 and most likely for the next 3-4 years. I'll also be sharing one of my secrets regarding getting the best colors out of the tropical environment right here in Southeast Asia. What camera do I use? And it's the Sony A7 Mark II 24 megapixel full frame hybrid shooting camera. Let's open that up. Nice packaging. I got the 16 to 35 millimeter 2.8 G Master ultra wide lens. There's the lens. A nice Sony hoodie with ultra wide 2.8 G Master, super sharp. And here we have my new camera gear that I've been using for the past month, and my only regret is not buying it earlier. The biggest reason why I changed from my old camera to this one is full frame. My old one is called APS-C sensor, basically meaning much smaller view. Now with the full frame is 2.5 bigger area, which is perfect for traveling and nature. That's reason one. Reason number two is the dynamic range on this one is incredible, and perhaps even the best one. It means that the difference between black and white is going to be compressed into one, so it balances each other out. That means you won't have overexposed, blown out bright background and a black face like I've had multiple times on my old camera. This one is gonna balance everything out, and it's one of the biggest strengths of the camera. Similar to the Canon 1DX Mark II, which is a $6,000 camera, compared to this one, $2,000. And some even say it's better on that one. It also has 24 megapixel sensor, creating stunning photos if you want to do landscape or, just like me, Instagram photos. The third strength of the Sony is the low light performances. Previously, I couldn't film anything after a sunset. Now with this one, I can shoot whenever I want. Now with the full frame sensor and great low light performances comes a little bit of disadvantage during a bright daylight. And I will tell you how to fix that tip in a second. My main camera lens, which I'll be using 90-95% of the time, is the super wide angle 16 to 35 2.8 G Master lens. This one is not cheap, and it's actually more expensive than the camera. But if you're serious about landscape or nature or even going to blogging, then this is hands down the best thing to buy. Let's put them together. I'll show you how it looks like. Attach it just like that. Boom, ready to go. Another amazing feature on the A7 III is all these extra buttons. See that? C3, C1, C2. These are customizable buttons, which I use all the time now. For example, this one I use for digital zoom in. The Sony has a built-in feature which you can actually do a digital zoom. So the 35mm becomes like a 50 or 55mm. A feature I use all the time just to get a little bit closer to the object. Another button here I customized for slow motion. I just press it and it changes from 30 frames per second to 120 for that beautiful B-rolls. Then I also changed it between nighttime, so one button has all the settings I customized before in a one click. And last but not least is lightweight. It's not like the 1DX, a super heavy camera. This one is light, perfect for travel vlogging. So what are the negative things about the camera? Some might argue there's no flip screen for the vloggers, and I agree, I wish there was. But to be honest, I've been using these kind of screens for 2 years now, and the autofocus system on these cameras is second to none, and I'm literally never out of focus. And finally, this super wide angle with this lens and the full frame capabilities compared to my old one, I'll show you the difference. And that's the difference. You see a whole lot more, and you can imagine while you're going, nature, hiking, you really want to get the mountains and the lake. And last but not least, it has a 5-axis stabilization, meaning you're never gonna get that, shaky movement or shaky footage. It's built in. Moving on and talking about stabilization, there's no better image stabilization camera on the market than the GoPro 7. I got this little bad boy just a few weeks ago. Boy, oh boy, this is a monster for action-packed camera. I've never been a big voucher for the GoPros or like them, but they've taken it to the next level now. It's super improved sound, meaning you can actually talk a little bit on this one and it's not gonna sound like a low quality mic. It also has some fancy features like the time warp, where you can place it on your motorbike or your chest and you just run and everything is smooth and it's like time warping. And it's of course waterproof, and you can use this one for scuba diving down to maybe 20 meters before it gets dark or low visibility. Now probably the second most question I get all the time is, what drone do I use? And before it was the Phantom 4. When you're traveling all the time, it takes like a whole bag to carry and it's just not worth it. So finally we got the DJI Mavic 2. Similar quality as the Phantom 4, but of course the size. It is so small, it actually fits into my backpack with my camera gears all in one. I didn't get the Pro version because the Zoom one has the zoom. A very unique thing for this size of a drone. It has a 12 megapixel sensor and it creates a decent looking images, but I mainly use it for videos. With the zoom option, you can punch into the object and it moves the background closer to the camera, creating a super cinematic footage. On top of that, it has some fancy features like the dolly zoom and of course the hyperlapses that I've been using all the time now in my recent videos. The only accessories you have to buy for this one is the ND filters, because you cannot control the aperture like on the Pro. Same thing with this one, you have to get an ND filter. That just means in a really bright day the camera is going to be overexposed, really bright, and these filters help with that. And here's a free tip, not many people know about these filters and I choose the ones that have a little bit of magenta color into it. So if you have a little bit of magenta filming in beaches or tropical areas, it's gonna make the water pop out a little bit more, the aqua blue color, making it milky creamy soft. I won't be talking about all my equipment, it's gonna be in the link below, but here's a backpack that I use. You can see how small it is and I can actually fit all my camera gear. This one, 2 extra lenses, 3 drone batteries, the GoPro on the side, my Gorilla Pod on the other side, all in this bag. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit sweaty, but it's super hot in the Philippines and I got my aircon turned off. I hope this answered some of your questions regarding my camera gear and what equipment I use. I of course won't go in detail about all of it, but it's in the description below. If you're starting YouTube or vlogging, I have a link below for all my music that I use on the videos. Like it's the same thing. What song, and it's all on that website. So click the link if you want the best music and sound effects. I use it 100% of the time, it's the best one. So I partner up with Epidemic Sound and I use their music for all my videos. Go check it out if you're starting up YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the upcoming epic series in Northern Palawan, where I visit over 20 islands in 2 weeks. Stay tuned, and until next time, peace out.